The question about who Jesus is and when did he born has been a question that has been asked for many years. Was he born in December 25th, year 1 AD? Is Christmas correct? Many questions has been asked. December, the month of Christmas, the month when Christmas trees are being dragged inside or taken down from the attic. The streets are filled with Christmas lights and the Christmas commercials are once again true tearjerkers. Whether you know what the Christmas story is about or not, you cannot escape it. But that's a good question. What is Christmas really about? The beginning of the life of Jesus. Whether you are aware of it or not, every year you pause to reflect on the life of Jesus Christ, especially at Christmas. Whether there is a pandemic or not, Christmas is never skipped in the western part of the world. Over the years, the story behind Christmas has been somewhat diluted. People also ask why Christmas is called solstice. Roman cult of Sol. His holiday is traditionally celebrated on December 25th, as are several gods associated with the winter solstice in many pagan traditions. It has been speculated to be the reason behind Christmas proximity to the solstice. The worship of the sun Sol was indigenous to the Romans, who had a temple to Sol indigeson, the Quirinal hill that was said to have been established by Tatius, king of the Sabines. There also was a temple to Sol as well as one to Luna in the Circus Maximus, where chariot races took place under the auspices of these deities. In the Julian calendar, December 25th marked the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. The Romans used to celebrate what they call in Latin, Natalis Solis Invicti, or birth of the unconquered sun, not sun S-O-N but sun S-U-N. Festival of Dies Natalis Solis Invicti. Sol Invictus, sometimes known as Helios, was long considered to be the official sun god of Rome. Sometimes known as Helios, was long considered to be the official sun god of the latter Roman Empire. In recent years, however, the scholarly community has become divided on Sol between traditionalists. Emperors portrayed Sol Invictus in their official coinage, with a wide range of legends, only a few of which incorporated the epithet Invictus, such as the legend Soli Invicto Comedi. The question arose, did Yeshua, whom Christianity called him Jesus, born on December? The key verse is in Luke chapter 1 verses 26 to 31. In the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city in the Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin engaged to a man named Joseph, of the house of David. The virgin's name was Miriam. Approaching her, the angel said, "Shalom, favored lady. Adonai is with you." The angel said to her, "Don't be afraid, Miriam, for you have found favor with God. Look, you will become pregnant, you will give birth to a son, and you are to name him Yeshua." Notice it says on the 6th month. Why on the 6th month? It is referring to 6 months after John the Baptist, or Yochanan ben Zechariah, was conceived. Luke 1 verse 5. In the days of Herod, king of Judah, there was a Cohen named Zechariah who belonged to the Avia division. His wife was a descendant of Aharon, and her name was Elisheva. Notice the key phrase, Ishkariah, who belonged to the Avia division. Key to unlock Avia division. The priestly order of Avia, to which Zechariah belonged, originated with King David and his desire to build a temple for the Most High God in Jerusalem. Not permitted to do so because he was a man of war who had shed much blood, David did the next best thing. He prepared for it with all his might. 1 Chronicles 29 verse 1 to 5. David divided the descendants of Levi into smaller divisions so that each family would have an equal opportunity to minister. Likewise, the priests were also divided. There were 24 divisions, which allowed each division or order to serve for 2 weeks each year. 1 Chronicles 24, 4:18. There were more men who were chiefs found among the descendants of Elazar than among the descendants of Itamar. Therefore there were 16 divisions of the descendants of Elazar, headed by clan leaders, and 8 divisions of the descendants of Itamar, according to their clans. They were assigned periods of service by lot, the one group equally with the other, since both the descendants of Elazar and the descendants of Itamar had officers of the sanctuary and officers of God. Shemaiah, the son of Natan the secretary, one of the Leviim, recorded them in the presence of the king. The officers, Zadok the Cohen, Achimelech the son of Eviatar, and the clan leaders of the Kohanim and of the Leviim, with 2 clan divisions taken from Elazar for each one from Itamar. The first lot drawn was for Yoyariv, the second for Yedaiah, the third for Harim, the fourth for Sorim, the fifth for Malchiah, the sixth for Miyamin. the 7th for Hakkets, the 8th for Avia, the 9th for Yeshua, the 10th for Shechaniah, the 11th for Eliashiv, the 12th for Yakim, the 13th for Hupa, the 14th for Yeshava, the 15th for Bilga, the 16th for Imemer, the 17th for Hezer, the 18th for Hapatzets, the 19th for Tachia, the 20th for Yechezkel, the 21st for Yakin, the 22nd for Gamel, the 23rd for Deliahu, and the 24th for Mazayahu. The 6th for Miyamin, the 7th for Hakkets, the 8th for Avia, I repeat the 8th for Avia. Now take a look at the Jewish calendar. You see Nisan and you see Tishri. Nisan is the head of the months known as Rosh Hashanah. Tishri is the first month of the Jewish secular or agriculture year, while Nisan is the beginning of Jewish sacred year, marks the beginning of Jewish festivals. David divided the descendants of Levi into smaller divisions so that each family would have an equal opportunity to minister. Likewise, the priests were also divided. There were 24 divisions, which allowed each division or order to serve for 2 weeks each year. There are 48 weeks, and these 48 weeks divided by 6 months, which is half a year, it will be 24 weeks from Nisan to end of Elul. The next 24 weeks is from Tishri 1st to end of Adar. So for Avia division is the 8, meaning that from Nisan to Iyar 3rd week. During the month of Nisan is the 4 division, the 1st Yoyariv, the 2nd Yidea, the 3rd Harim, the 4th Sorim. And in the month of Iyar are the other 4 divisions continue from Sorim, the 5th Malchiah, the 6th Miyamin, the 7th Hakkets, the 8th Avia. The 8 Avia division temple duty is at the last week of Iyar. Angel Gabriel visited Zechariah at the end of Iyar. Elisheva conceived in Sivan. You start counting from Tammuz to Kislev, which is the 6th month. Gabriel visited Miriam. Miriam conceived in Tivit. Yeshua conceived Tevet Yochanan, born in Passover. This allows Yeshua to be born in Tishri, which is exactly 9 months from the date of his conception. So Yeshua was born exactly during the Feast of Tabernacles on Tishri 15. During that time, people from every nation came for the Feast of Tabernacles, and all the inns were full. Immanuel, God tabernacled with man. Birth of Yeshua, Jesus at Sukkot. Is there any evidence of a historical tradition behind celebrating Yeshua's birth at Sukkot? The Festival of Tabernacles provides an attractive option for theological reasons, such as, the Word became flesh and tabernacled among us, John chapter 1 verse 14. Sukkot is the season of our joy, an appropriate time to declare joy to the world, but is there any evidence of a historical tradition behind celebrating Yeshua's birth at Sukkot? When was Yeshua born? The Gospel writers either did not know when the event happened, or they did not feel the information was important enough to pass along. We can only speculate. 2 centuries after it happened, Clement of Alexandria discussed the dating of the Master's birth, but he did not mention December 25th or January 6th at all. Instead, Clement reported one tradition corresponding to April 20th on our civil calendar and another tradition corresponding to May 20th. By the middle of the 4th century, however, the Roman Church had begun to honor December 25th, while churches in the East, Asia Minor, and Egypt observed Jesus' birth on January 6th. Both are late developments and unsupported by early tradition or biblical evidence. No trace of a tradition from the early Jewish believers connects the birth of the Messiah with December 25th or January 6th. Some speculate that the Church associated the birth of Christ with the winter solstice and assume that the Church chose December 25th as a matter of syncretism with older religious ideas about sun worship and the birth of demigods. This may be the case, but Christians of the period were in a bitter struggle against paganism and generally shunned such associations. To replace the Christmas celebration, some believers within Messianic Judaism celebrate the birth of the Messiah during Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. Prove the Sukkot date based upon the time when Zechariah's course of the priesthood served in the temple. Other Sukkot theory proponents claim Yeshua was born in a sukkah because the word stable is sukkah in Hebrew. According to Luke 1:26 and 1:36, the conception of Yeshua followed that of John the Immerser by 6 months. If so, Yeshua's birth should also follow John's by the same interval. If one could determine when John the Immerser was born, he could determine when the Yeshua was born.
We have many videos like this. Click like to this video if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And also click notification bell for upcoming videos.